In this week's session, we are going to discuss how to create your own videos, audio recordings, and screencasts really easily on your Mac using the software that you already have built in. Now you can click on Go and go to Applications, or even easier is to use this handy dandy little spotlight in the upper right hand corner, and surprisingly you're just going to type in QuickTime. Now we are looking for QuickTime Player, not QuickTime Player 7, so click on QuickTime Player. And it's a very minimal program, and in fact you probably don't even realize that it started up, but you'll see the toolbar change across the top. So very easy menus, only 5 little buttons. So what we are going to do is click on File, and then the first one is to create a new movie recording. And when we select new movie recording, it is going to open up a video of me. Hi, me. Okay, and from this screen we can choose from the drop down menu and change whether we are going to use our FaceTime camera, whether it's going to use our built-in microphone, or in this case I have my handy dandy separate microphone so it could record from that, and then also what quality it's going to be recording at. And the high quality is perfectly fine. I doubt that you're going to need the maximum quality, so just leave it at high. Then as we start recording, or as I'm talking before we're even recording, you'll notice across the bottom that my audio levels are changing. Now if I were to be quiet, there's still a little bit of noise in the background. Now I'm working or recording in my office at the middle school with the door open, so therefore it's going to tell me that there's probably a little too much ambient noise from the other classrooms around me. Perhaps I should relocate. Now my room itself is very echoey, so I could probably close my doors and my noise level would go down, but for the most part I talk loud enough and my levels are spiking up high enough when I'm speaking that I'll be able to get rid of that background noise pretty easily just by talking. So once I actually start recording, I can hit the record button, and now I could be doing my lecture, I could be talking about whatever I wanted to talk about that I wanted to create into a video, interviewing someone else, whoever is in the frame with me. Or some cases, people will take their laptops, put it into a book stand, and then record what they're writing down on paper underneath their laptop. And that's especially useful if you have students in, for example, a math class that are trying to do a demonstration about how to do a task. Then they can be writing it down on paper and recording themselves with their laptop. So that makes it pretty handy. So let's stop that. And so then I see my lovely mug mid-speech at the very beginning. Now, as I crank through it, you'll see the whole thing. Now, the handy-dandy thing, most people say, what can I do with it now? Well, you don't even have to take it into iMovie. Right within QuickTime, you can actually do a lot of the editing that you'd already want to do. So first off, we have the ability to split clips. So if I were to start playing this video, record button, and now I could be doing my lecture, I could be talking about whatever I wanted to talk. Okay, if I wanted to trim it right there, then I could go to edit and then trim, or I could go to edit and then trim off and end. Everyone has mistakes. Okay, so I'll trim off the beginning and the end and then press trim. Then if I wanted to split my clip into 2 different parts, I would have the cursor at the point where I wanted to split it and then split the clip. You'll notice that it then split it into 2 sections, and from here I could continue and even do some additional trimming within the clips if I wanted to. And then I could even go so far as to rearrange the order of my clips. So if I interviewed someone and I did the introduction after I did the recording or after I did the interview, then I could come in here, trim it, rearrange it, and be good. Okay, so then if I were to watch the whole thing, it actually has both sections split together. Now, what if I've recorded something else that I wanted to add to this one? Edit, add clip to end. Then I could navigate into my other videos. Okay, choose one on education, for example, add it to the end, and then you'll notice that now I have 3 clips, and I could repeat the same process here. I could edit and then trim. So if I knew that I didn't need the first part of this, I only needed the last part of my coverage on education, then I could take that. And then you'll see here I have 1 clip, 2 clip, and then my education clip at the end. And then the very last step is to obviously make sure that it's something that I can use again. So we're going to export. And I usually find that if you're going to use it for online purposes, using the iPad, iPod Touch settings work pretty well. So you can come in here and select either really low quality or moderate quality, and it will give you the size difference across the bottom. And then you could click save and save it onto wherever you'd like to save it to. So in this instance, I could save it onto my desktop if I want and click save. So then another type of file that I could do is an audio recording, and the audio recording gives me similar options. We get this little box, change it to microphone or the headset that I'm wearing. You can also see the audio quality across the bottom, see if we have any background noise. Okay, and then when we're recording it, it also gives us the size of the file. So if you need to upload this onto, for example, Infinite Campus, there is a 30 megabyte limit to the size file that you upload. So therefore, you would want to keep this file size under that 30 megabytes if that's where its destination was heading. This is a handy tool if you wanted to give your students a size limit if you were uploading it onto somewhere else. That way they wouldn't go over. Now obviously when they record, they can also do the same trim work that we saw. So we can come in here and trim off the beginning, and I stopped recording a little bit after I last spoke, so we'll trim off that end and then click on trim, and then so we trimmed down just a little bit, saved a few seconds. Alright, same process applies, file export audio only, and this will give us an M4A file that we can then save onto our desktop and upload. And we'll talk about uploading in a little bit in terms of where you can do that. And then finally, the very last one is the screen recording. And this should prove pretty fun because we're doing a screen recording of a screen recording. But if we were to come in here, we also have the two options again, built-in microphone or the Logitech headset, or none. So if you wanted to just do a silent recording, then you could do that as well. So we'll change that here. Now this one, very quickly, read the prompts. Click to record the full screen, drag to record part of the screen, end the recording by clicking the stop button in the menu bar. Okay, stop button in the menu bar, that's this button up here. I know I have a lot of icons up there, but that's the key one. Okay, so we're going to click to record the full screen. Okay, and so from this instance, I could start bringing in whatever I want to bring in onto the website. So or onto the screen that I'm recording on. So if I wanted to bring on, for example, a CNN website and then start to talk about how to use this tool, or if I had students that were using Google Classroom and I wanted them to record how-to videos for their peers in the class about how to do things like answering assignments or how to do the communication through there, the chatting through there, whatever you so choose. Okay, so they can navigate through. You can still see my mouse, and there was a setting to change our click recordings, and I'm not sure if that actually even means that it changes at all. From what I've seen on recordings, not really a whole lot does change. Okay, so don't worry so much about the clicks, but once we're done with our recording, we hit stop at the top. And then we get our screen in here. So now I can hit play. Okay, and so from this instance, I could start bringing in. Now, this one, it took me a little bit to get my files in, so let's trim it. Okay, same thing applies. I can come in here, drag until I see that image coming in, even drag until it loads. Okay, and then I could go edit. Then I could click on trim down here. Okay, same thing applies as we did for the video recording. Alright, so it's very easy to do. Same thing, file, export, and then export to whatever quality that I'd like. Then what do you do with it? Okay, that's the big question. Now, once you export it, what I recommend doing is uploading it onto your Google Drive as your source. Google Drive will host all of your files that you put on here, and up to 30 gigabytes, and then also let you play the videos and the audios right within your Google Drive. So you won't have to add a secondary player. You also won't have to necessarily worry about who or what is in the video if you're afraid of posting it publicly like on YouTube, because you can put it in a sheltered environment where, for example, only MSCD6 people can view it, or only MSCD6 people with a link can view it, or only the public with a link can do it. So Google Drive is really, really handy for that. If you do opt to upload onto YouTube, if you're the only one in it, go for it, knock yourself out, do whatever you'd like. If you have students in it, please, please, please double check that they have permission to post. You don't want to get yourself into a bind. And then on top of that, you can, if you do upload onto YouTube, you can make it private so that you have to have the link in order to, or you have to be invited to view the file in order to see it. You can also post it as unlisted. And then the third option is to post it publicly. Now, all the screencasts that I do, I post publicly because I don't care if everyone in the world sees them, but just do keep that in mind that you do have those options if you were to choose to upload on something like YouTube. But definitely start with Google Drive, and if you have problems with that, then let me know and we can work on it together.